Mr. Rajiv Kumar. Mr. Rajiv is the Managing Director and CEO of Cyanconur, India, with an overall experience of 25 years in digital energy for transmission and distribution utilities. He has over a decade experience in working for the Indian and international market for digital energy business. Today, Mr. Rajiv will talk about the role of robust communication infrastructure and its management system for AMI. So let's welcome Mr. Rajiv.
Taking forward the discussion, digitalization is going to happen. It has been happening for last so many decades, but this is the only answer for so many problem that is engulfing our distribution or so-called renewable integration, which the previous speaker was trying to touch upon. Just spending a couple of minutes at what was happening before. When we started in 1995-96, the automation of transmission segment, and this is the first time real grid automation started in India, and it was very successful, called Unified Load Dispatch and Communication, and that ended with the formation of National Load Dispatch Center. And after that, the focus started coming on the distribution sector, and that was precisely sometime 2007-8 when the first specification of distribution management system came up. And then we saw quite a successful journey of RAP-DRP, and though it was a very successful implementation of 70 cities, we found that the real benefit in terms of loss reduction or revenue improvement to the DISCOM did not happen. And then every one of us from industry and from government, DISCOMs, they realized that maybe RAP-DRP implementation that happened, that contributed a lot, but there is still a lot to be done. The last leg of the value chain, that is from digitalization beyond DT, and that's where the concept of advanced metering infrastructure, which was previously like more of an automated meter reading, AMR era, then followed AMI started coming. The story started coming somewhere in 2000-2001. A lot of pilots happened. It was a journey. It given a lot of learning to everyone in the industry, that what should be the solution, what should be the application, what should be the IT infrastructure, whether it should be in-prem or cloud-based, what should be the right standards for the smart meters, what should be the communication on all those things. Over the period, if I see last, I would say a decade or so, when NSGM and many other pilots, some progressive utilities, DISCOMs started doing certain projects. There have been visible improvement, every DISCOM could see in projects like Indore and other pilots that happened in India, including some utilities in down south. I believe it was DISCOM, some pilot happened, and some other pilot in south as well. So what real impetus start coming when ESL started the large scale project, and then gave confidence to the complete industry that, and as well as the policy makers, that large scale deployment can also happen in India without much of funding needed. So we now today are in an era where we see that most of the standards in terms of smart meters are in place. Most of the standards in terms of the infra sizing, the application, so called head-end application or meter data management, the type of billing system interface. When we are speaking today, most of the DISCOMs are quite clear about that. With the standard building document coming out, most of the DISCOMs are quite aware that how they really want to go about it. So basically, in this process, while all the other components of AMI value chain are reached a sort of maturity level, when I talk about a smart meter, it has reached a maturity level in terms of standards, tempers, and other things. The other component on the application side and the IT infra side has matured, whereas I would not say that the right focus was not given on the communication part. I would say that now this is the time where the communication requires right focus and right insights by all the stakeholders, so that the key aspects are looked into before a decision is taken. So I have tried to list out certain must-haves that should be there with the on-ground, on-hand experience that we had in ESL deployment, where I was leading Smart Meter National Program, and then the further project that we are doing in Siancanoe. Basically, a strong communication backbone is very, very important when you see the use cases of AMI, advanced metering infrastructure. From small use cases up to the going to advanced and analytics using artificial intelligence and machine learning, basic remote connect disconnect, basic billing profile capturing, basic load profile capturing. It is capturing at 15 minutes at meter. Are we able to capture in HES and MDM? Is consumers able to see in their mobile application what was the consumption 15 minutes before? So that strong communication backbone to bring that data from field to the IT infra is now very critical. Then the second part is that government is quite clear that the way forward is to switch to smart prepaid, not only smart meter, smart prepaid meter, and that too making prepaid logic and prepaid implementation agnostic to the meter. These should be built in on the MDM. Now smart prepaid and smart postpaid, postpaid system that was happening before was monthly billing, prepaid is daily billing. That means the data availability for the billing, data availability for other use cases needs to be sustained on daily basis. And please, we have to understand that in transmission or other system, when we talk about 99.9% availability or 99.5% availability, it looks very good figure. But if you see in AMI, it is B2C project. In 1 million implementation, even 0.5% is like 5,000 consumers not getting bill, not getting generated, even if you have achieved 99.5%. So it's very important that availability is maintained, high availability is maintained. That will only happen when the communication technology provider or OEM or whatever we call it have a contractual obligation of delivering SLA. Now we are having DB foot model. We know that it is 10-year long project. If technology provider is not part of the project, is just selling technology and not part of the project, then project will not be successful. They have to really live up to the project shoulder to shoulder with the AMI SP, with the lead contractor or lead service provider. It's very important, and also it's very when we talk about the deployment on the ground, I have experienced that if consumer B2C project consumer is not happy, they will stop the deployment. They will say, I don't need to change the meter. AMI SP is not designed to handle sort of consumer refusals, which creates law and order problem. The project will go for in different direction. It will delay the things unless until we are very proactive in resolution of consumer concerns. We have seen in previous deployments. So it's very important when we have digitized the consumer, the AMI deployment, when you have digitized the access to the consumer through mobile app, then they would like to see all the data readily available. As well as it is important for DISCOM to really reap all the benefits of the smart meters so that they can see the information in real-time system. They can do connect, disconnect. If some consumer is disconnected because of negative credit balance, and if he is paying, he is not going to wait for 1 hour, 2 hours for the connection. Just look at yourself. Are you going to wait? And that's where a strong backbone is very important. As soon as credit balance become positive, command will automatically get initiated and reconnection should happen in real time, at least near real time. So that's why I just put some my 5-6 thoughts on this slide. Very important that we do right retrospection and selection of technology, and technology evolution also happens. 10 years technology changes completely. Just look back from now. So that is also a very critical factor that plays a role when you do the technology selection. That's the key. Now, 1 or 2 slides that what we are doing at Siancanoe to try to, from industry side, try to support making these AMI deployment successful. Large scale deployment requires really strong technology support to make it happen. So we have been investing a lot of money in evolving our solution to meet the requirement, make it more and more effective in terms of availability. We have been if you know the smart meter design, there is a certain duration of meter storage is there. We have been doing sort of edge computing on our COM module in the meter, where beyond meter storage we are storing certain duration data in our COM module as well, and that sort of agent works on the COM module whenever the reconfiguration of network is happening, when network is getting formed or network post failure some network is getting redirected, the data packet loss doesn't happen. And those type of technology evolution intervention has really helped in achieving 99.5% SLA. We are delivering in 4 hours. We're not over 24 hours, but in 4 hours. We have a large in-house network design experts that really design the network before deployment, and after deployment they manage the network in real time, recreate the problem at site that happens in backend laboratory, and then immediately after recreating they get the solution, transfer it to the field, that solves the problem in the field, and make the system again live. And that's how the achieving 99.5% of availability. Then network management system, and we know in SCADA DMS implementation in RFP and before that in transmission system SCADA EMS system, network management system is the sort of nerve center to manage the complete network. In transmission system also, substations location we're getting monitored live through NMS system, and same thing happens in AMI system as well. The difference is that the number of nodes which were used to be in hundreds in SCADA DMS or EMS system, now it becomes millions, and it becomes much more important to have network management system so that we can really monitor the system, and based on our intelligence and other inputs available in AMI system, take corrective action. Every problem we cannot end up visiting sites. When you have million deployment or many million deployment with non-communication, if it is happening 1%, for 1 million deployment that is 10,000 location. Visiting 10,000 location, time and money involved, the project will go out of track. And we have seen that happening. So, like 1% meter not communicating, it should result in not more than 10 to 20% of field visits. That level of inputs, gathering inputs and doing analytics and then resulting in field visits, very important. We are communication agnostic. We have RF, cellular, 3G to 5G. We have an NMS which supports both RF and cellular network. We intentionally designed it. Now it is really bearing fruit in our current deployment in more than 8 states, that in India, where we have already delivered more than 1 million nodes. It's delivering, it's making the operations team, O&M team life much easier in delivering the SLAs in real time. On the right side, this is a new innovation that we are bringing in. In India, all the pilots, if you recall, happened in the major, I would say, tier 1 cities. Now the deployment is going to happen pan-state. And India broadly is 60 to 70% semi-urban and rural. Only 30% is, I would say, falls into. Now that requires further evolution of the solutioning, where we have scattered pockets of consumers, where we have like certain states are trying to put smart meters in government buildings, which is again a scattered sort of thing. That's where typically a long range, a normal RF is rated for a kilometer. It goes normal in normal situation. Line of sight goes to 500, 600 meters in normal conditions. Long range RF that we have tested outside India. Now the testing is going on in NCR region. It is rated for 10 kilometers. And typically we expect that the testing in NCR region is already successful at 7.7 kilometers, and I'm sure it will go up to the rated one. Once it is done, we are going to deploy in our new projects where the deployment is going to happen in semi-urban and rural area. Why we are doing that? Because if we don't put right technology again, we will put those scattered consumers for mercy, and we will not be able to deliver right level of SLAs, and those people will be again highly unsatisfied, will not be able to make the deployment successful or project successful. The last slide, you see we are in India almost since 2009. First project we backed in 2014. What we were doing for 5 years. we were interacting with sorts of all the policymakers like IMA, CA, BIS, and we were understanding Indian market, and we developed solutions for Eye for Eye, India for India. That's where we were there, and we did we took first project in 2014 in Tata Power. We did in CSC Maso that backed the best smart grid pilot project, and then there's no looking back. One after another, we kept doing. We are doing deployment in Jaipur, Chennai, Shimla, Dharamsala, Indore phase 1, phase 2. And happy to share that last month, that is November 2021, we have delivered 1 millionth node. So we are going strong, and we would like to transmit this technology, high availability COM technology, so that the larger scale, the AMI projects become really a success story. We have been awarded London Stock Exchange Green Economy Award. Normally, it is given to the industry players who have more than 50% of revenue contributing to the green economy, which Anil was rightly highlighting. Frost & Sullivan, after 6 months of due diligence, they have given chosen Shan Connaught for Smart Metric Technology Innovation Award for 2021. And also UK India the Council have identified Shan Connaught that's really fostering a strong technology drive from UK to India and so forth, and that is recognized by Department of International Trade in UK. There's a recognition for the work so far by Shan Connaught India.